worry about my moral compass because I know I am right, and it it's that sends out 1.5 million bad messages because he's not right, um, and he is wrong, and we grow up in the midst of this, can't really be bothered, can't be asked, you know, and expect everything to come to us.
Yeah.
But the beauty of literature, like history, is you discover stuff. You put me on a journey today. Now, today I should have been, and I will be tomorrow, producing a series of stuff for what we hope to do later this year, post and stuff. But you got my head working on a particular poem which fascinated me. And then I did some research about the author of the poem, which, wow, took me on a whole unexpected journey because we like to think that everything is compartmentalized and we know it all and you can pick on it. Life is not like that. And these greats that compel us to read literature, they're writing from the heart and soul. And
That's
so,
true. And it's what you said before as well, Anthony, about people pick up a book and read it for pleasure, as you said, or it's something that they want to read. Now, it's like watching a film. If you watch a film about a certain thing, say like the Second World War, for example, there's loads of films about the Second World War, and yet the likes of literature, I couldn't get stop it. But anyway, literature itself, they tell you certain things.
yeah,
They tell you certain things, and
yeah,
you don't resonate with them. You just do not resonate with anything that what's in the literature sort of form. To be honest, we've spoken about visionary writers, and they're telling us what's going to happen.
yeah,
You get these today, lots of science fiction writers
yeah,
who are telling us what's going to happen in the future. And
yeah.
when you get the science fiction writers, say like of the 40s and 50s, it's happened.
It's happened.
And if you go back to the 40s and 50s, and like say the 60s as well, that'll never happen. That'll never happen. But it has happened.
It has
And you
happened.
get to these science fiction writers where you say, wow, this is over the top. You know what you're reading, this is over the top. And yet, they'd watch a film. They wouldn't bother with that type of literature
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. And
yeah,
it's about
yeah.
anything else in literature. And it's
Do-
all about the history of literature. If you go further, as you just mentioned there, you have to dig deep into a great poet by the name of Ivor Gurney. Yeah, he says in his To His Love, the first two lines of his To His Love, are damning, are
yeah,
damning, because his mate was killed, and they were great friends. They were always doing things. They were loved sailing. They
yeah,
just loved doing everything. And the
yeah,
first two lines were, do you know what his first two lines were? Well, I'll tell you, he's
yeah,
gone, and all our plans are useless indeed. And that says about everything, every walk of life, everybody, not just them, but
No.
every walk of life, when something happens,
Life journey.
oh, it's a life journey, and the life journey stops there and then.
Yes. And I was immediately moved when you recited the poem a couple of weeks ago, and it's kind of stuck with me the way that Keats stuck with me, because when you commit to paper the act of love, the emotion of love, um, it becomes arouses your curiosity at first. So you listen, and then what takes over your curiosity is the poignancy. Because we're alive, we can do things. You can phone me up and say, Andy, I really need that bottle of limoncello tomorrow at 10:30, and I'll be there with the whatever, me with Laney, and it's there. We take so much for granted, which I think is also a part of why literature has been alienated, because we've got everything on a phone or a tablet, so we don't need to pick up a book. There's people my age who've never picked up a book.
Yeah, I know. Same here. Same
Oh,
here. I know people who've never. I remember talking about. I think one of the most read books on the planet is A Christmas Carol,
yes,
and I've spoken to loads, and I've said, have you read it? No. Seen the film though, and they know about Scrooge. I said, well, you don't know about Scrooge. You don't really know what's happening around Scrooge. You really don't. You've got to pick up the book and read it.
read it.
And any book that's a film's being adapted to, think about the words adapted. They take so much
Yes,
out of a film
yeah,
from the book. So much.
yeah.
And, you know, it's hard to tell people, you don't force people to read. It's up to themselves to read. I've always read.
Well, that's where the inspiration that comes in. You drop a seed, and the inspiration is not just reading the book or knowing of the book, but knowing when it was written and at the times it was written. And as I know, and a lot of our chatters know, through talking to you as a historian, you the basic thing is that book was written against the odds, or that poem was written against the odds, because it was not like, oh, Frank, write another book or write another. These were absolutely works of suffering, and also the earlier we get, you go back to William Shakespeare. Dangerous times to be a writer, dangerous times to commit it into paper. A bit like now, what's going on now?
Yeah, of
What
course,
what
because, as you said about Dickens writing at the time, dangerous times, because those dangerous times, everything, unless you were a very, very wealthy person, one of the elite, your life, going through your life's journey, was very precarious. And you're at a right. I'm glad you mentioned that, because you're at a right what they wanted. You had to follow the rules. You had to follow their narrative, but he didn't.
he
He
didn't
didn't
know?
follow their narrative. if you know what I mean. And I'll tell you who else didn't follow their narrative was the great Bronte sisters.
Yeah,
They didn't
absolutely.
follow the narrative of what they wanted.
No.
And they lots of social comments, lots of it. And anyway, can I just get onto these people? TW, even and Frank and Anthony.
Good evening, TW. Hope you're good.
And Barry Aldridge, even and Frank and Anthony, and chat.
Chat. Good evening, Barry, and chat.
And my old mate, Steve Mulholland, he says, "Hey, Frank, what do you think about LFC getting a jacket in the summer when we needed one in the winter?" That's a great analogy, though. Football show tomorrow, but I will answer that. I think it's stupid. I really think it's pathetic from the club, to be honest. I really do. But I love your analogy, Steve. I've got the football show tomorrow, so you can tune in and we can have a go at the stupidity. Well, it shuts today, the thing, so the window. So let's see. Let's give it till midnight. That's why I'm having the show tomorrow. Anyway, Ashley Knight, even and Frank and Anthony.
Good evening, Ashley. Thanks for joining us.
Toscana, buonasera, Franco, Anthony, and chats. Treated myself to a book by Charles Dickens, Hard Times. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Well done. And CW says, smash the likes and subscribe. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Thank you so much. T, thank you. And Steve says, Galloway last night was showing statue of Charles Dickens and Shakespeare. Oh, go away. I couldn't watch it last night. I couldn't watch the Galloway, unfortunately. I was asleep. I wasn't well. I wasn't well, unfortunately. So I didn't watch it. I might catch up later. Anthony and myself will get back to that. Franco and Antonio and everybody, ciao tutti, says Bella.
Bella. Cheers, Gail.
Ciao tutti.
We like them names.
Yes, yes. Read it as a kid, says Linda. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's good. Read as a kid.
It is. Keep the curiosity alive. Feed the curiosity.
Well, what I'm made up with is my granddaughter, and she came top of her class.
Wow.
And she came top of her class in English and history.
Fantastic.
I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Smashing.
They were my favourite subjects in school.
Yeah, same here.
But he took it off.
And as Linda says, agree, books and films never tally. And they don't.
No. Anything that can be edited.
It's the lovely Lauren Bianchi. Good evening, Frank and Anthony.
Good evening, Laura. Thank you.
Oh, lovely.
Good evening to you.
And as Barry says, books are knowledge.
Yes.
And the first book I ever read was The 39 Steps. John Butler, yeah.
That's a hefty read. Yeah, great book and a great film. I've seen about 3 or 4 adaptations of that and all been...
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But it's like anything which is rooted in factual reality. You know,
What you think of Hard Times? What Toscana bought?
I, I you know what, that is a brilliant choice, and it's not the immediate choice you would expect it. Um,
I'll have to
me-
tell them. I'll have to tell them. Please let me say something to these wonderful people, Anthony, and you'll appreciate this too. I used to teach English from the people who, Shakespeare. The title was Shakespeare to the Terrified, because people were terrified of, mention the word Shakespeare, and they go, oh, to what an order. And we're going to do something about that, aren't we, ourselves?
we are.
And Hard Times. When you look at Hard Times, it was at the time, we mentioned it before Toscana said it, about, he's not following, Dickens isn't following the narrative of what. I'll tell you the narrative. I'll tell you the narrative here and now. And now it was all changed. Certain poets, certain, how can I say this? Certain prose writers changed everything in the narrative. You look at a poem, and that poem is about love. You had the likes of what's her name? Oh, blimey! And all that she wrote about was love. This lady going back into the turn of the 19th century, and all that she wrote was love, love, love. About Emma. One of the title books was Emma, and this Darcy fella, and it was all love. So they started to change, but the person who started to change it into reality was none other than William Blake. William Blake started to change. Jane Austen, I was trying to think of her name. Jane Austen was writing all these little love things. And what was going on at the time that she was writing all these, books? Most probably people love her. Well, they do, Jane Austen. But what was going on at the time around her was the Napoleonic Wars. She didn't do anything about it. She never brought anything in. So the person who changed everything was through his poems. And that was William Blake. So he started to set the trend of, changing the likes of these poets. You've only got to have Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, what that was all about. You had the likes of Keats and Ode to a Nightingale. He started to talk about the death of his mother and his brother at the age of 20. Because they suffer from, as you know, tuberculosis. It was a shocking time. Then you go through, they were getting away now from love. And especially the likes of where it comes to the prose writers. And you get the likes of Dickens. And you get the likes of Dickens saying that there's evil in in society. Greed is in society. And when you get the likes of Oliver Twist, the greed is there. And it's no use watching a film. Well, it is, films are great. Don't get me wrong. But when you read the book, you're seeing different things. You're seeing the greed of monks who wanted to get him and kill him. You've got Sykes, horrible man. But he gets his comeuppance, as you know.
Yeah.
So this is what you have. You have prostitution in Oliver Twist too with Nancy.
Yeah.
And when you're reading it, you know that Sykes was a pimp.
Yeah.
Fagin was a greedy man.
Yeah.
A horrible man. And when you read deeply, think about this. When you read deeply, and there was a lot going on at the time, it was the century of what I'm going to say. When you're reading and you read about Fagin. Now, he lives with what? What does he live with? Who's in his house?
Small children.
There you go. There you go. And when you're reading this, you know what he is. You know what he, and it was rife.
Yes.
In the 19th century.
Yeah.
It was rife. So this is what you read.
Yeah.
Now, do you reckon that it doesn't really show up in films? It doesn't, does it? Because the films are there to entertain you.
Yes, and it's as you said before about books, the films do become abridged or edited.
Yeah.
Take that out, leave that in. Take that out and put this in instead. That's the basis of movies.
No, there's Toscana who's just bought herself Hard Times.
Yeah.
Now, Hard Times is what it was.
Yes.
You're out there, and believe it or not, I don't ever mention my side. I only mention my Italian side of the family for certain reasons. That's why, which I'm very proud of. The Italian roots.
Yeah.
Now, on my name side, my surname, that is, I can go back to a historian named Thomas Carlyle.
Yes.
And he wrote a book called Sign of the Times.
Yeah.
Which was very good. It was a very good historical thing, because he was giving you the history of whatever. And he's in my family line, on my surname's side.
Legendary person.
Yeah, well, he was a great friend of Dickens.
Yeah.
And he presented it, he dedicated it to Dickens. So Dickens, in the meantime, he wrote more. And he wrote Hard Times. And he dedicated that to Thomas Carlyle. You see?
Yes.
But when you look at both of them, they're more or less the same. Because Thomas Carlyle, he started writing about humans being automated. And then when you go to Hard Times, you've only got to look at the names. A couple of the names. You've got the likes of Bounderby.
Yeah.
And when you break Bounderby up, bounder. And he is a bounder to his workers. And he stings them like a bee. Bounder bee. You see?
Yeah.
See how clever Dickens is?
Yeah.
Then you've got Gradgrind, who's the headmaster. Gradgrind. And that's how you pronounce his name. Gradgrind. Because he got every face of every scholar and grinded their faces into facts. He only based everything on facts. Fact, fact, fact. There was no wonderment at all in that school for kids. There was no imagination. There was nothing.
And that is kind of true of the education system, wasn't it?
Yes.
Around.
And I'm not spoiling it for Toscana, but you'll have two other characters in Hard Times. One is Stephen Blackpool.
Yeah.
And his name's synonymous with something in the book.
Yeah.
And also Rachel, who's it's a biblical name, isn't it? Rachel.
Yeah.
And she is very biblical as the story goes on.
Yeah.
It's a terrific book.
Yeah, but
like every other Dickens book, it's terrific.
Yeah, the most powerful sound bite, as we call it these days, is your description and the reading of chapter 5, which is
Keynote, yes.
Comes from Liverpool. It's immensely important because it was created here, but also it shows Dickens' legendary sight of what's coming next, and he did not like, as Blake did not like, the Industrial Revolution.
Do you know who hated the Industrial Revolution? And I mean with a passion. He despised it. Do you know who it was? William Wordsworth.
Wow.
He thought that, William Wordsworth, don't forget, you're talking mid-19th century, well, the early part of the 19th century. And if me and you and our chatters here decided to meet up, we'd meet up in the countryside because there was nothing but countryside.
Yeah.
And he said, especially when the railway started to come about and the canals, especially the canals, they were digging up the countryside. They were destroying the countryside. Railways were destroying the countryside because they were digging it up. And it was putting people out of work, which he was right.
Yeah.
Which he was right. The railway was, it was shocking to people. Who was it shocking to? Have you got any idea?
Yeah, the people that live the land, farmers.
Exactly. And they were moving into the cities for work. So cities now were becoming overcrowded. So was that a knock-on effect for them? The railways?
Totally gets that. But unless you look at it objectively, because we are all about progression, and knew this, knew that. We know in our area alone, we're living in a sea of glass houses, and any countryside parks, stuff that we once had are dwindling fast. And it's not because we need to, it's because of someone else's profit. And that was happening then. Well, we would not. As a child, when I read Dickens for the first time, I would not have grasped that. Maybe bits because the education system was channeled to a point where it said, this is all good stuff, this happening, development, redevelopment, progress. You know.
Yes. Well, everything. Look, when you look at the likes of the poets and the prose writers, and the writing about these things, you did have progress in everything. Yet there was a downside,
Yes.
and the railways was a downside. Not to us, not to you and I, because we can get from A to B rather quickly, but it was to
Yeah.
other people. Now, again, when let's say Lime Street Station opens up in 1836,
Yeah.
1836, and here's what happened: the very first hospital, a certain hospital that is, opens up in Liverpool. A certain hospital, right? So they looked at this hospital, and it was built, and everything was lovely, lovely building as well. Really lovely building, and that was on the site of what we have today as St George's Hall. So
Yeah.
what they says when Lime Street Station came about in 1836, they said we can't have that hospital there. We'll have to knock it down. So they went, oh yeah, okay. Why? What was the excuse? And the excuse was that it was an asylum.
Yeah.
It was turned into an asylum. And they said, I hate using this word, this terminology, but I have to because it was documented. They said, we can't have lunatics walking around the grounds as the people were getting off the trains. And that was another thing because you and I couldn't afford to get on a train. It was only the wealthy who could afford to get on the train. And at a later date, that's why you had compartments of first, second, and third class.
Know your place.
Know your place. I'll just go through some of these. And as Barry says, the first book I ever read was The 39 Steps.
Well done, Barry.
Great book, that. John Buck. And Toscana says, as a kid, I used to read The Torch under the sheets.
I did the same. Did the same.
I was obsessed with reading and still am now. I used to carry a pocket dictionary in case I didn't know what some of the words meant. That's great, though.
That's brilliant, Toscana. And me the same. And my mum used to shout, are you awake? And I'd shout back, no.
I used to shout, why? Why? Shut me up.
Oh,
And Kane Faz. Hi, Frank. He was the most underrated player we have ever had. Kane, it's tomorrow night, fella, football. So if you tune in tomorrow, I think he's gone anyway. If you tune in tomorrow, I'll answer that.
does it not come to mind immediately that you're
Well, there you go, you see. There's loads of underrated players. Steve
mm,
Finn was an underrated player. right back for Liverpool. Steve
I,
Finnan.
I think in my time, it was not so much underrated, but easily forgotten. I remember when Kevin Keegan left and and Kenny came in, and then at a point Stevie Highway left. These were all like meteoric
Yeah.
talents, but that's how fickle we are, really.
That's how fickle football is.
Yeah, but I think that's true of life as well. Whether you be a writer or a musician or um, an artist or a historian, it's like there's a certain level where you're only good if you're on the zone, if you're on the telly, or if you're in front of them. And that's how fickle the human race is.
It is. Anyway. Owen Lee, good evening, Frank and Anthony and chat. I hope you're all well. Yes, thank you, Owen.
Hope you are too.
And Paulie says, hi, Anthony and Frank. Chat. Paulie.
Thank you, Paulie. Hope you're good.
And Bella says, The Leopold by Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa. If we want things to stay as they are, things will have to change. I love that book. Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa. Lampedusa is an island off, it's Italian, it's Italy. But it's not on the mainland, it's a little island. And this is where all the migrants, the illegals, they're all landing there. And the Lampedusians are absolutely fuming over it. They're fuming. Yeah. Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa.
I will have to do some homework.
Yeah, you can go back to that name. Giuseppe Tomasi.
Yeah.
Hi, Frank and Anthony. Listening to you is a pleasure, says Polo. Oh, lovely.
Thank you, Polo.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's been a
Charles Dickens' Great Expectations is wonderful.
yeah. I love that too, and it's kind of, to be honest, it's more that you'd expect people to read. It's an easier read than Hard Times. But Hard Times is a wonderful, wonderful education.
Hello, Franco and Antonio, and all that's from Marshall.
Marcel, thank you. We love them.
Do you know what, Marcella? We have a cousin, I forgot to mention it last week. And he's passed on now. And his name was Marcello.
Oh.
And he has a brother named Angelo.
What's the scripture?
The Italian names.
Yeah.
And Bella says, Mum reads in Italian. I read in English, but we share a few thoughts about the books. Oh, that's lovely. That's Marcella.
That is fantastic. That's the way forward. I have the luxury of having a dear friend who puts me onto these books. Thank you, Franco. But my girls, my daughters will also alert me to what I should be reading.
Yeah, because your daughters are great readers, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. And we spread the net wide, you know. We're happy to read anything good. We're happy to learn anything of knowledge. Yeah, yeah.
Listen to this, Bella. Books are the quietest companions, turning paper into a mirror for the human soul. They offer a bridge between the physical world and the deepest, unseen truths. Well,
That that is just hand on heart, absolutely correct, beautiful, beautiful, and eloquently put. And it's right. And we feel the benefits of that when we read the book. That that knowledge, that surge of knowledge, understanding.
and actually says the first book I read was of Mice and Men. That's
Yeah,
Steinbeck, isn't it?
yeah. Me too, actually. Well, one of the first I read that when I was at school. Yeah, it's such a powerful book.
Anthony read that when he was 3 years of age.
I did, yeah, yeah, I did. I was looking for somewhere to put me lollipop, and then there was a book.
You put your lollipop on a book, and it was of Mice and Men, so you decided to read it.
Me mum, God love me mum. I owe me mum so much, but me mum would never let me. Do you know if someone has a book and they fold the pages down so they know what page they're on? My mum would go, "Oh, for God's sake, don't be doing that." Yeah. So I'd never, and I still don't now. Don't damage the book.
Do you know what I read? First thing, I remember, it wasn't a storybook, it was a reference book. And it was a reference book of the likes of Julius Caesar going right up to Field Marshal Montgomery.
Wow.
And in between, you had the likes of Nelson, you had the likes of Napoleon, and they were reference. And that's what got me right into everything. And do you know how old I was at the time? 9.
You know what?
9 years of age.
That is a great age to 8 and 9. I read my first or looked through because it was a mass, and I've still got it on the shelf behind me. Um, my mum and dad bought me an encyclopedia when I was 8, and I was fascinated with the snippets of information. I thought that was the greatest thing ever to have everything in one book. You know, you talk about Napoleonic wars, and then space travel, and then there's pictures. Wow, because it opens up the mind.
Well,
And
the science fiction things. If you had some illustrations, for example,
yeah,
incredible,
incredible is right. Yeah,
incredible. And I'll tell you who gave you a great insight, like Dickens, when you were reading them, was H.G. Wells.
you know what? He's right in my mind when we're talking about the inspiration of when we were kids.
Yeah.
You know, most kids want to collect cards or whatever. I once I got lost in that, as you're lost in it, and that's the great story of HG, wasn't it? He
Yeah.
came from nothing, and it was his mother's job as a cleaner of the big house on the hill that led him to libraries. When the owner, the squire, or whatever, would say, just let him sit in the library and wait for you. Sit there. That was just like
Do you
that was
know? Do you know that you're talking about libraries there?
yeah.
Do you know where the first public library was? Where about in the country?
Was this to do with our beloved William Roscoe? No.
Well, yes, more or less. And the building's still there today. And there's in stone it is. And not many people see it. I've shown loads of people. And it's in Duke Street. Beautiful building. And it's still there and in stone, it's got the library. And that was the very first library in the whole of the country. Public.
What is it used for now, Frank?
Don't know. Haven't a clue. But, nevertheless, it was a public library.
Wow.
And I don't know. I know that their offices, I've seen people going in and out. It's not far from the Munro pub.
Yeah.
A little bit further down from the Munro pub. Fantastic.
Love it. Love it.
When you see these people who have got an insight, and I'll give you two of the oldest actually. Do you know the Athenaeum?
Yes.
Not where the Athenaeum is now, obviously, but the Athenaeum is the oldest club. Did you know that in the country?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also the oldest the oldest repertory is in Liverpool Theatre, and that's the one in Williamson Square, the Playhouse.
The Playhouse.
Yep.
Some absolutely legendary names been through them.
Yeah.
From our own beloved Glenda Jackson to Ronnie Barker to everyone.
Yep.
I was a member of the Athenaeum for I think about a year. Didn't go often, but two of our lovely friends we meet on our journey, Mike Kelly, one of them, and David Charters, journalist, put me in as you had to be referenced for the membership, and I went, and I've got to admit, I wasn't entirely comfortable there. I don't like clicks, but ultimately it was fascinating. And when they told me that this is essentially a gentleman's only club, I came back the next day with Laney. I thought, well, sure on me. And then they showed me the Roscoe room. You've been in there with his journals. That was
I've seen Dickens's name, signature, when I used to go there. But that was up in the Lyceum then. Ashley says, I hate that folding of pages as well, Anthony, mate.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, Ashley, I'm with you.
and actually goes on The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William Shearer. And Lord of the Rings is one of my favourite books I read.
Absolutely, yes. I remember reading that when I was I got 17, 18, and we were at that time we were in a change. It was still in the 70s, so we're in a change of through music and through literature and through film, which was kind of exploring these themes. And I have never been more engrossed in a book, 3 books, than Lord of the Rings as a child, because it sets the imagination free. What I love in later years is to find out that a lot of his writing in that is based on reality, which is what we love. And it's of the war, to the Nazis, the this, the that, the other, the tribal warfare, which emerges in Lord of the Rings, is based on the warfare of life, which I couldn't understand I would not have been able to understand as a child.
Do you think something will be written about what's going on today?
I think there probably is, Frank. Yeah, I think there probably is. There's got to be the the um, the Palestinian and the Iranian mentality, knowledge base, thought process is phenomenal, and it goes back forever, forever, not 200 years. And
Thousands of years.
yes, it's well, I'm having a slight pop at someone else who was a fairly bloated, conceited regime that
Yeah.
know nothing.
Yep.
And I'd like to think that the writings and the teachings and the learnings and the stories attached to what's going on now as what happened then will become more widestream for us.
And actually says, Frank, do you and Anthony like any of Stephen King's book? I like the book It. Yeah, there's a series that's been made. I tell everyone to look at it. Actually, and it's called The Outsider. It's only a short series,
Yeah,
about 8 to 10. Watch that. That's Stephen King.
6 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved his work. Actually, I grew up with all his books. One by one, I would buy them. Oh, what a magnificent building that is.
Well, after the break, we'll talk about some slides there. Okay.
With you, Gaffer.
This is one of Liverpool's most famous waterfront buildings, known all over the world for a disaster that happened in April 1912. Architect Richard Norman Shaw's building is known locally as the Streaky Bacon Building. Officially, it's the White Star Building where the Titanic was registered. The middle balcony that you can see, that's where all the information was given to throngs of people that was here in the Strand about the sinking of the Titanic. With today's technology, television, radio, even texts, but in those days, they had to shout about the disaster, and there was a deadly hush as all the information was given out. The Streaky Bacon Building, known to the locals, is really a genuine Liverpool unnoticed. When people think of the liver beds, they just think of this one. There are two on the liver buildings, but in fact there are four that overlook the city. And here's the third one. And it's on the Mersey Chambers, built by Olds and Grayson in the 1880s, of the Addison line. If you're wondering where the fourth one is, come back and see me later. Also on the site is the weather vane of the tobacco ship, the Donnelly, that sank with all hands lost. And to immortalise the ship and honour the crew, the owner had the vane specially made and got permission of St. Nicholas's to put it on top of the steeple. After all, it is the Sailors' Church. There's an old saying in Liverpool that concerns the Donnelly. If you're going to borrow money, someone will say you won't get that back until the Donnelly docks, meaning you'll never get it back because the Donnelly will never ever berth again in Liverpool. With all the regeneration going on in Liverpool and the skyscrapers going up, believe it or not, St. Nicholas's was the highest, tallest building on the waterfront, but not anymore, unfortunately. However, it has got a fantastic history. This is the original Thomas Steers's 1715 dock wall, the first in the world. The reason why it's so special, between 1709 and 1715, this became the very first wet dock that controlled the tide and the water of the Mersey. 100 ships could easily fit
in the dock itself. And this was the beginning of Liverpool's enterprise, maritime enterprise around the world. And it was the beginning of the dock system. And through Liverpool 1, this particular wall is preserved. Up above, there's a porthole that shoppers will be able to look down because the history is at their feet. Liverpool is built on sandstone, and where I'm actually standing is the seabed, again, sandstone. Just imagine the original wood and the original cobbles have survived since 1715. After all these years, the mason's tomb marks are still here. Just look at the sheer size of this. This is preserved for future generations. It's our heritage, it's Liverpool heritage, and it's world heritage. Hang on, I think I better move. I think a ship's coming.
Stunning.
You see that Titanic promotions? Remember I was talking about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, privately, that is. No,
Yeah.
enough said about that.
There are always people who will associate themselves with.
Do you know, I was going to say something there until I seen that. I'm just looking for where we are up to. Yeah, it actually says, I've seen that series, Frank, The Outsider. I thought it was great. Yes.
Yeah. I've yet to watch it, actually, but I love Stephen King.
He hasn't watched it yet, and he keeps saying to me, I'm going to watch that.
I know. Well, you give me 52 films a day to watch. But I am looking forward, really, absolutely, to watching. I might watch it tomorrow because I'm by myself. A wonderful Italian film.
Oh, yeah.
The Big Fake.
Yeah.
It ticks all my boxes.
And it was in Italian, but if you can get it on, subtitles,
Yeah.
it's a true story. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. About a real life artist.
Yeah.
Anyway. Actually, says, Frank, that clip you're talking about, the Titanic, is where I watch it, and also you look a bit younger there, mate.
That was last week, actually. Yeah, we did that film last week.
I've aged. It's Annie Slot aging me. Anyway, Bella says, Matteo, Marco, Massimo, Milo. Funny enough, I know Massimo in Lido di Eslo. And he's known as Max. And if I'm all right, if everything's all right, I'll be going over in May. I'll be going over to Lido. And I hope to see Max or Massimo. He'll get the shock of his life. If he's still there like that is, they get the shock of his life when he sees me. Magdalena, Martina, Marcella, Mum, name us all with the alphabet M. think she must have been reading a book at the time.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Yeah.
We've all, in our family, we've got lots of Francises, Michaels,
Yes.
Anthony's, loads of them, tons of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I was named after, obviously, Saint Anthony, but also a very dear uncle to my mum, who I sadly never got to meet. Yeah.
Do you know what his name's after?
Sinatra.
The cat. It was named after the cat.
Do you know what? It's a weird thing. I remember reading years ago that we grow into our names.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It was named after my uncle Frank. My uncle Francesco, his name was.
yeah,
He used to get Frank.
yeah, and that's kind of the Liverpool thing as well, really, to abbreviate everything in it. You know, so your name's Anthony, we call you Ant. Your name's Francis, oh, we'll call you.
I get called a lot. Sometimes I don't get called by my name. I get called other bloody names.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Begin with a B.
They're not in our language, you know. We don't.
Anyway, Bella says, Antonio, you should watch a film called Life is Beautiful. I've seen that. And do you know what, Anthony? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. About an Italian and his child, and they got put in a prison camp. Very beautiful prison. It's a true story, by the way, Bella. True story. It's one of those films that grabs you by the heart. The heart. It's incredible. During the Second World War.
I think it's true in film, possibly literature, is that the Italians and the French are free to express love and admiration and pride far more easier than the British do. The British are a little bit stiff. Although you do get some good, certainly we're talking about literature, you get some brilliant books, but I think Italian and French are very emotive people and languages. And
They are, actually. They are. And Jason says, I watched the one you recommended last night, The Devils Are All Here, with Eddie Marsan. Great film. Eddie Marsan, brilliant as usual. Characters in it were great. Kept you on your toes all the way through with the tension.
fantastic. What a recommendation that is. 5 stars that I see him.
There you go. And I said to him, because he was down to see me yesterday, and I mentioned it. I said, you've got to watch it, Jason. And he watched it. And there you have it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, you know.
I will watch it. I will watch it.
It'll surprise you, put it that way. Salute.
Salute.
So you see, thanks, Jay, for that. Thanks for that recommendation.
Yeah.
Because It is. It's an incredible thing.
And it's new, isn't it? It's just out.
Yes. Yes. Look at that. Princess Avenue Boulevard.
And we talk often about the influences of places across the globe. That looks Persian, doesn't it? It looks that kind of storybook building.
That storybook building. You know the likes of Toscana and Bella and Marciella. I'm going to tell you something now, and it'll be easier for those as well. Toscana and Bella and Marciella. Now, that building was built by a couple of great brothers named the Audsley brothers. Yeah?
Yeah.
The Audsley brothers. I'm going to tell you something now. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I've mentioned this before. Anthony, and what it is. These Audsley brothers, one of the friends, wealthy friend, said to them, "Listen, I need a townhouse building. Will you design it for us?" They said, "Yeah." The building's still there. So he designed this particular building, and he showed them, and he went, "Yeah, okay, build it." So he built it. Now you're wondering, well, what's this got to do with our lovely Italian ladies? Right? I'll tell you for what. And this is why I want to go to Verona with Sophia, because she loves Romeo and Juliet. And I'm going to show her the balcony. Now, there's a caveat with the Verona balcony and the one here. In 1934, Il Duce Mussolini, he's seen all these tourists, because tourists going to Italy, they've always gone to Italy, tourists, through the centuries. And our great poets went there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Our great, wonderful poets. Keats.
Shelley.
John Keats.
Byron.
Yep.
Yeah.
Percy Bysshe, who lived opposite Keats.
Browning.
Oh, everyone. Right? So, 1934. And they'll do you as, that's ridiculous. The people need to go out onto the balcony. So he had to pull down, and he put a balcony on that you see today.
Yeah.
But Audsley, one of the brothers, Audsley, I don't know which one, could have been the two of them, decided to put Juliet's balcony on. And this is well before, this is like 60 years before El Duce pulled the original down. So that townhouse was built with the original Juliet's balcony. And we have it here in Liverpool. and the building's still there. And I seen Alison Steadman walking up.
Brilliant actress.
Oh, Liverpool actress.
Yeah.
And I shot over to her. And I said, Alison, I said, I've got to show you this. And she went, oh. I said, yeah, did you see that? And I told her about it. And she was made up. She said, thank you so much. She said, I never thought of that. So, well, you wouldn't think of it because you don't know about it. You don't know, though. And there was this press, and I see him now and again on the telly. I think they were doing a documentary about Liverpool. And he kept, Alison, come on, we're late. I said, so it's time to fuck off. I can't say that. But she laughed, you know. They got off. This press, I see him now and again. Dennis the Pepperek, all the way from Alligator Land. Good afternoon, fellas. Beautiful building. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dennis the Pap.
Cheers, Dennis. Hope you're good over there, mate.
Oh, yeah. Plays with alligators.
Well,
Go overseas alligators by yourself.
we've met a few over there in pinstripe suits.
Oh, loads of them. But they're not alligators. They're crocodiles now. Yeah. In pinstripe suits.
Piranhas.
This is in Bowl Street. Yeah, it is.
Holy, it is. And you know what? I haven't got a photo yet. Frank and I's favourite cafe in the world is right by it. Sadly, gone now.
Gone.
But we will, when we get to town, we will take the photos as is today.
And Ashley says, isn't David Morrissey from Liverpool? He was in The Walking Dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, David.
Yeah.
I was talking about him the other day. Him and Ian Hart. I don't know what. I think it was on my film and TV review.
Yeah.
When Colin McHugh wanted me to do something, and I did for him. Or was it on our show? No, I don't know.
Well,
anyway, I couldn't think of David Morrissey's name when I was talking to the two of them, you know.
Yeah.
Ian Hart and David Morrissey.
I photographed him because he was to be a head when we did the heads alongside his brother, Paul, and took the photos, everything. Well, there was when we were on it, we were just on it late at night, and I couldn't then take time out to gather all the material. My
that you needed, yeah.
My aim was that people would bring me, even if it was just a small bunch of bits and pieces, as you did yourself. And then,
well, remember when I said to you, I said, because what happened to me at the time when you said, will you bring some stuff down? I said I can't. Simply because I just split up.
Yeah.
I couldn't access me some of my stuff. Well, most of my stuff. Still haven't got it. That's destroyed that. And they were all private things, you know.
Yeah, totally understand that. But that was, I mean, in a way, that was like another life, because we knew of you before we met you, and we adored your work as a historian. I mean, literally, time stopped when you were on. And I said to Lainey, I've got to meet that guy. We've got to paint him.
Paint me.
If he wants to give us time of day. And then after 4 phone calls where they said, no, can't connect you, can't put you through, no, I don't think he's in, or he's just left, or whatever.
No, when I got the message, I just went down. And it was funny. It was June. She was a lovely receptionist, June. And I said, she said, he wants to paint you. I said, what for? No one's wanting to paint me in their lives. I thought she was messing, you know. I thought she was messing. And anyway, I went down, seen you, and you wasn't messing. And I seen one of our greatest friends, who's absolutely wonderful. And as Stephen Graham says, he's the best actor in Liverpool, and that's through Schofield.
Yeah. And he's just solid.
Oh,
no bull. No.
I was in awe when I seen him. I went, oh. And he's just looking at me. He said, "You're all right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've seen you playing Mephistopheles, you know, up at the Everyman." I said, "And what you said, you know, it was a speech and it was that long." And it was. I said, "How the hell do you remember that?" And he just laughed at me. That's what it's like. That's what it's like with these wonderful people.
Yes.
Especially Andrew Schofield, the greatest actor in Liverpool.
Yes.
And, Dennis Paparak says, been a bit chilly since the weekend, been -3. The sun and the smaller. Normal service resumes later this week.
Wow.
-3 in Tampa.
I wouldn't imagine that would ever happen. Well,
and Steve Mulholland, he says, shame that the Zanzibar has turned into another Irish bar. Oh, go away.
Yeah, it has gone. Yeah, it. I agree, Steve. It is such a sadness, but we're losing the very things that are vital. Give Liverpool its own voice, its individuality, music, theatres.
And Ashley says, have you started that book? No, I haven't. No, I won't be doing that for a while yet.
Well, I'm doing the cover.
Did you know when we, when we actually do, some of the slides like this?
Wow. Shows brow.
Right.
Wow.
Like that was a pottery kiln, right?
Yeah.
And a windmill. Right? A windmill.
Yeah.
And do you know what stands on the site of that?
No.
Well, I'm not going to tell you for being so funny.
That's only one of you.
Do you know what stands on the site of that? Shall I tell you?
Yeah, please.
The Walker Gallery.
Wow.
Because where you've got the Sessions House and where you've got the Walker, you've got a little street, haven't you?
Yes.
Tiny street. And that's known as Mill Lane because there's the mill.
There's the mill, yeah. Yeah.
Mill Lane.
That's amazing. What an amazing building that is now.
Oh yeah.
That would be. But also on that site or in that vicinity is the north, the Royal Academy of Arts stood there before the Walker. When William Roscoe and his friends showed the Italian artwork, sculpture that they were bringing back. So, and also where the Pre-Raphaelite art movement got their first gig, because London shunned them. They didn't want to know them. And he said, that's not art, go away. And they found a home of reciprocal artists, writers in Liverpool. And the information is out there, but not heavily. So it was twinned with the London Royal Academy of Arts, which obviously is still going. But the Liverpool one failed.
That's
Mail Street. And that's what's coming back to us, isn't it?
yeah. Well, you know that Liverpool, I mentioned this ages ago, that Liverpool is the oldest in the country cycling club.
You did? You gave a talk to them?
Yeah. And I didn't even know I was giving a talk. They just said, would you like to? I said, yeah. And Chris Boardman was there, a lot of Olympians. And they said, and for our guest speaker, we have, I said, me? I didn't even know I was giving a talk. I was just there for a meal.
You're halfway through a bowl of scouts.
Exactly. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. But that's, yes, that's the oldest.
That's a brilliant photo, that, in light of what's going to happen next year.
Yes.
1715. We were just finishing infant school then, weren't we, Frank?
Yeah, you were reading hard times there.
Here we are, then.
You were reading of Mice and Men then. As a 3-year-old. And what you see there, see the church on the right?
Yeah.
Give you some idea of where this is. And right down you see like a couple of towers, don't you? Well, that was the that was the castle.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to the right of the castle, you got like a little turret. And that was the exchange. That became the Liverpool Town Hall. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that church there on the right, which is very prominent, that's St. Peter's Church. That was in Church Street.
Wow.
Well, it's named after him because that was built in 1701.
Wow. I mean, we've talked about this and we've seen it on that wonderful map that you and Jason put up, but this is like totally different angle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
And there's the Beckenham Ferry, Clawton, guarded in by Old Flair in 1960. You wouldn't believe that, would you?
No.
And the crypt under construction. That's the Catholic Cathedral.
Yeah. Oh, my
crypt.
God.
Did you know that the Anglican Cathedral doesn't have a crypt?
Yeah, I only because I've spent a bit of time there and it's never been mentioned. But
because there's none there. They haven't got a crypt. But the likes of this crypt here was going to be the biggest cathedral in the world until the Pope got hold of Lutyens and said, "You can't have a cathedral bigger than St. Peter's." So he said, "All right then." And he says, I'll scale it down to the second biggest in the world. But unfortunately, it wasn't built because of certain reasons, which I
Yes.
won't go into because
Religious divides.
very controversial. Very controversial.
Oh, wow.
Marvelous, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And this what sickens me as well. That building. That's the custom house.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, where the dome is, an incendiary went in there, and it gutted 2/3 of the building. And when John Foster Jr. designed and built it, and it opens its doors in 1828. Now look at it. Look at the stonework. It was very similar to St. George's Hall today. Stonework.
Yeah.
It was a bit brighter than St. George's Hall.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, that's 1864. There was no pollution then from any traffic or anything. And that's what it was like. The 5th Customs House, the 6th Customs House. Unfortunately, with the incendiary, and as I said, it just gutted it. It was just gutted. It wasn't blown up or anything. It wasn't like a proper bomb. It was an incendiary. And because of sheer corruption, they pulled it down after the war. And it was shocking.
Absolutely.
Besides blaming the council, I also blame Americans.
Yes.
And those Americans said, we'll buy that off you. So this is why they started to pull it down. And some of the stone is in Anfield Cemetery.
Still bearing the number, isn't it?
It's shocking what they did. So the Americans were sick and say, we don't want it now. And that was destroyed because of them and stupid councillors. The same councillors who pulled down the overhead railway, first of its kind in the world, electrified.
That to me just looks like Venice, doesn't it?
Venezia. Yeah. But we've got a Venetian. I've got it here somewhere. Now there's the original. That's the original St. John's, King John's seal and St. John's seal. The eagle. That's the original seal. Because during the Civil War, when the castle was retaken in November 1644, some divvy ran up to the town hall and smashed up the original royal seal. But they had about 3 royal seals. And that saved bit battered like.
Ah, absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm proud. Freddie O'Connor.
Yeah.
He rang me up and he said, "Will you get down here?" I said, "I'm gonna." He said, "Get down, Frank." I said, "Why?" He said, "They're pulling it down. We need your help." So anyway, I went down, and I'm very proud to say I was one of the protesters to save it. Now, just imagine that gone on flat modern flats put there.
The chippy.
Yep. Imagine that pulls down and flats there. And when you look at who actually stepped foot inside there, the likes of Dickens.
Yeah.
Incredible. There was one fellow by the name of Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote a book called The Scarlet Letter about Puritans in America, because he was an American consul here. Hawthorne hated Liverpool, by the way. Didn't like Liverpool, hated it, because he said they're full of ruffians. And he wrote The Scarlet Letter. Scarlet Letter is a great book. Do you know what it was about, by the way, The Scarlet Letter, Anthony?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do. It's about lies, deceit, love, loss. Yeah. A young lady.
You have to walk around with a letter A in scarlet, hence the Scarlet Letter. Adulterous. That's how the Puritans were. And St. Martin's Cottages. Now, why is that important, Anthony? Do you have any idea?
I think it was one of the first blocks, flats.
Well, yeah. What it was the very first, as you said, blocks or whatever, council houses for the poor in the whole of the country.
And just off Scotland Road,
Sylvester Street,
where we came from, I actually drew it, painted it.
Did you?
2000. Yeah, based on photos, because as now, there's not much original stuff. If I find it, if you want to, Frank, it's yours. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
To scale, isn't it?
That's the cathedral. Look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they went, oh, the Pope. You can't have that. He said, what? He said, you can't have anything bigger. He actually sent for their luncheons.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
He says, you can't have that. But he said, why? Scousers want a big cathedral. He said, after Scousers, you can't have one bigger than St. Peter's. That's nice, isn't it? I love it. I love it. But look at the sheer size of it. Look at it through the Liver building. Look at it through the Port of Liverpool building and the Cunard.
Yeah. And the Liver building was known as the first high-rise building, wasn't it, in the country?
Yeah, it was the first skyscraper in the whole of the country. So we have got something to be proud of.
That is just...
It says, isn't it, unbelievable?
It's only when you see the two together, what would have been and what is, what could have been.
Well, you see where the dome is?
Yeah.
And Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. That's it.
Oh,
Look at that. Look at that.
oh, oh.
Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible.
Can you imagine the clock? Liverpool University, it's got a big... I love this clock. It's the first mosaic clock face on the
Yeah.
planet. Well, it was the first anyway. Whether they've got one somewhere else now, I don't know. Not bothered. Where you've got the clock of university, where that arch is there on the left, that
Yeah.
old clock tower could fit inside there. That's how big it is. That's how massive that is, that cathedral.
Wow.
And it's such a shame that we can't do anything or keep anything or, produce anything. Isn't that a shame?
Yes, it is.
Let's see what these have been saying. And Dennis Peperack, our American friend, says a former member of the Spanish Navy, Gasparilla, was well educated and intelligent. During his pirating years, he captured many ships, earning a fortune in treasure, most of which remains lost. And carries on by saying, in 1821, a US Navy ship confronted Gasparilla's ship. A furious battle ensued. With the defeat on the horizon, Gasparilla tied himself to an anchor chain and jumped into the sea, never to be seen again. Wow. Well, that's why, obviously, he's hidden his ill-gotten gains. That's why it's, everything is lost because of Gasparilla's suicide, taking his own life. Great, that. Great little story. Thank you, Dennis. Amazing slides, Frank, says Paulie. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Bella says, Paulie, hope you and your wife are feeling a bit better.
Oh.
Not really. We're both tucked up in bed. I'm listening through the headphones so I don't wake me wife. Hopefully we'll get through the worst in a couple of days. You will. Thank you for asking. Isn't that lovely? You will get over it because it does last it's in your body for 3 days. So I think you're over the most of it now. But it's still, it's gone. Albeit that it'll go. You're still lingering with weakness.
Yeah. Gets in the way when you want to sing a song, Paulie.
Yeah. That's it, get the guitar out, Anthony. And Bella says, beautiful slides, Frankie. Thank you. Thank you, Bella.
Yeah.
And Steve Mulholland, James Maybrick drank in the post house. He did. He did. James Maybrick.
And one Adolf Hitler, by all accounts.
Yeah, the big A. Yeah, he came over. Went to his wife, not his wife, I'm sorry, his sister. And you know what he was amazed at? He was actually amazed. Oh, look at that. I forgot me fucking see. It's your fault, Anthony. I'll just drink a swig of water. Do you know what he was amazed at? He got on the overhead railway,
Right.
And he was going up and down the docks. And he's seen the amount of goods coming into Liverpool, while he back in Germany seen starvation. Because as he said, it was an armistice. No one won the war. It was an armistice. And for that armistice, everybody, would be helped after the war, helped each country. And he neglected us. That was his thing when he went back to Germany. And he must have said, I've been to a city in Liverpool. He said, and the goods coming in there. He said, and there's nothing here. Because his half-brother, Wilhelm, he worked in the Adelphi Hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bella says, Franco, what is the oldest building in Liverpool? The oldest building I've been in, and I used to teach there, was the first grammar school built in Liverpool, in the northwest. Sorry. And it's in the Walton district of Liverpool. And that was the very first thing that was written about Liverpool was by a librarian, an antiquary belonging to Henry VIII. And in 1537, he wrote something about Liverpool. So it dates from then, but before 1537. Was it 1537 or 57? Yeah, 1537. So I'd put it around the 1400s, the 15th century, 1500s, whatever it was, this particular building. But the oldest building in the city centre of Liverpool is the Blue Coat Chambers. How about that? Hey,
Just.
the Blue Coat Chambers.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah.
I-
That's the oldest building in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And if you look closely to the right, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people coming from the right, those gentlemen. I'm talking to the chatters here. The 5th one down is Anthony. Someone sketched him and threw him in there. You're talking 1615. No, I'm joking. 1715. Isn't that brilliant?
That's fantastic.
That's the Blue Coat Chambers. So there you have it, Bella. That's the oldest building in Liverpool. City centre. The oldest pub in Liverpool is off Dale Street, and it's called Ye Hole in the Wall. And why it's called Ye, Anthony and myself have been in there, haven't we, Anthony? It's one of our favourites.
Yeah, it became the place for solicitors, barristers, judges to kind of go. But its history is phenomenal.
Unbelievable. And why it got its name, Ye Hole in the Wall, was because there used to be a coach house, and the building's still there, called Rigby's. And when they used to lead the horses into, like, put them in the stables, and at the time you couldn't sell any alcohol or anything, no drinks whatsoever. You could eat your victuals, you something to eat. You could have something to eat there. And what the proprietor of this inn, wasn't an inn, it was a coach house, he used to say to, the people after eating the victuals, would you like a drink? And they used to say, yeah. So he said, follow me. So they used to follow him into an empty box where the horses went. He always had it empty, right on the left. And he used to go, okay, now keep quiet. And he used to pull a slat along. It was a loose slat. And he said, I'll go in. So they used to go in. He lit a lamp or candle or whatever and served them drinks. And he got collared. And he was heavily fined. And he said, no, you've got to build it in. So he had to build it in. And that was, it's just ye hole in the wall. That was the slat, ye hole in the wall, where he went in.
Oh. It's still there.
Still there today.
Most definitely a must if you visit him.
And Bella says, Franco, what is the oldest? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. And Ashley says, Sylvester Street. I know that street. Yes, you do, don't you, there? You do, don't you, Ashley? Because when he's come to see me, you see.
Yeah.
Told him to go, I said, yeah, go up Sylvester Street and just go to the top and you come to Scotland Road and you'll see all the lads, going up to Anfield. Because he was going to match, you see. He went to match. Isn't that great, that picture, though?
That's fantastic, yeah. Yeah.
And Bella says, who in the right mind would want to pull down beautiful historical building? Idiots in this city. What you call city planners, Bella. And they're not from Liverpool, actually. And these architects and city planners. Anyway, Dennis today, Bella. Happens everywhere. We lost some real gems in both Detroit and Nashville. It says it's shocking. And Bella to Dennis says, I know, it's such a shame. It's such a shame. And what they're wanting to knock down now in Rome is the Pantheon. The Pantheon's been there for 2,000 years. I've been in many times, still utilised today. But they're going to flatten it. And they're going to build a skyscraper.
No way.
Yeah, because what they're saying is they reckon that they could get, I think, 50 million each for 2 penthouses at the top so that they can view all of Rome.
See,
they're knocking it down.
That would have been my response to you, to Bella and Dennis. It's ultimately it's greed. Everything.
I'm going to ask Jason to put the Pantheon up if he's still there with us. Get a photograph of the Pantheon, please, in Rome, Jason, please. Thank you. And Paulie says, good night, All you beautiful people, thanks for a really enjoyable evening. Good night, Paulie.
Good night, Paulie. Get well soon, you and your wife. All the best.
I have a pleasure of working in the Blue Coat occasionally. Don't get much work done. Like,
Ah,
that's what Jason says. There's the Pantheon.
ah,
It's got a dome, you know. You just can't see the dome, unfortunately. It's got a big dome. And the fella who actually designed it was none other than Emperor Hadrian. And he became emperor in 117 AD. 117, and he designed it. And they're pulling it down.
the,
There it is.
oh my word. The very
And it was
people.
the first, I'm sorry, Anthony. It was the first dome built anywhere in the world. And the top of it, he couldn't close it. He didn't know how to close it. How about that? And that's coming down.
Sensational. And it's the inspiration for so much. Well, certainly here in Liverpool.
Isn't it shocking? Dennis says, have a wonderful night. Oh, and you too.
Cheers,
Well,
Dennis. Hope it warms up for you.
And Bella says, the Blue Coat Chamber is so beautiful. We're so lucky in Liverpool. We've got so many amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah. We are and we do, Bella. Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think of that building coming down for a skyscraper?
I think it's absolutely insane. It's terrific. I would build a line of cells down both sides in that road, and I would put every town planner, every property developer, every so-called tycoon in a cell there.
And do you know what it's going to be called? Look at that, there's the dome, look. I've been in there loads of times, you know. Isn't that fantastic? The light shining through.
Yeah. Yeah.
The light shining through. And do you know what this new skyscraper is going to be called? Trump Tower.
No way.
Yep.
Well,
Trump Tower.
what date are we on? Is it April the 1st or something? Oh my word.
Do you see how anything can be manipulated and spun? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's not coming down, obviously. They wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow that to be, you know, the Romans. Look at it. Isn't that beautiful? That's 2,000 years old. Look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
2,000 years old. There's no way that anyone would have that demolished, especially the Romans. Every Italian.
Yeah.
Incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely. And like I say, and its beauty and wonder goes on because it inspires,
Oh, yeah.
will inspire so much.
Oh, yeah. It's a church, you know, now. It's a church. Beautiful. Love it. Let's see if I can get this up. I've got to press something there now. Done it. Done it. Isn't that brilliant?
Yes.
Can you see? Well, you can see that, can't you? It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. Amazing. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now, there's the Albert Dock, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, remember that picture is shown where it said about St. Peter's Church?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's St. Peter's Church there. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Oh, why should I go up there? I'm looking at the wrong screen. Looking at the wrong screen. There's St. Peter's Church. There. Fantastic. And do you know what church that is there, Anthony? That's St. George's Church. Right? And
Everton.
that's where... Sorry, go on.
Is that Everton? Wait, no.
No, that's not Everton, no. There's the custom house there.
Which, yeah, told you.
That particular building there
Yes.
is the Sailors' Home.
Yes.
This is Castle Street.
Yes.
No, it's not. Yeah, South Castle Street, that is. This is St. George's Church, which is now Victoria's Monument.
Yes.
And there's Castle Street. And you see that building there?
Yeah.
That's still there today. That particular building was built by Cockerell, Professor Sir Charles Cockerell, who actually designed the interior of St. George's Hall after Herbert J. Rouse, not Herbert J. Rouse, what am I talking about? The young architect has actually died, unfortunately.
Oh.
St. George, he designed St. George's Hall. And he took over Cockerell, designed the interior, but he also designed that particular building there, which became the very first Bank of England in the provinces. I'll tell you for why it became the first Bank of England outside London, simply because Liverpool merchants were so powerful back in the day then. And they said, we're fed up with going down to Threadneedle Street to the Bank of England when they have to call us. So let's build our own Bank of England here. And they did. And that opened its doors in 1846.
Wow.
1846.
Wow. And we've still got it, although it's a restaurant now.
Oh, yeah. Still got it. Still got us, and it's a restaurant. But I remember when it was broken into, and lots of things was destroyed in there.
Yeah,
When the homeless broke in there,
yeah,
you had the what you call them, you know, these liberals saying we've got to get the homeless off the streets and whatever, and you're breaking into buildings. They broke into there.
yeah.
And it was shocking what they did to some of the interior, unfortunately. But isn't that absolutely wonderful, just that area there?
Yes. Yes, indeed, Frank, it is.
There's St. George's Hall, right there. And there is St. John's Church, hence St. John's Lane here.
Yeah,
You know, you see things, Anthony. You see things that are stupendous, especially our neoclassical stuff. I'm just trying to find something. Bear with me. Just bear with me. I'm gonna. Let's see if it's there. Let's see if it's there. It is there. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. Do you see this here, this building here? Let me go in. Let me go in. Let me go in. See this building here?
yeah,
Again, I'm very proud of it because when I was working and I got wind that they wanted to pull this building down, and again I shut down and I seen these councillors. I said, have you any idea who designed this building and you're wanting to pull it down? Because what they wanted to put there were flats. That was built in 1841. 1841 to 42, it opened its doors. And the fellow who designed it is the same fella who designed this. I said, don't you know the historical significance of this building because of the architect? And he went, well, I said, no, there's no well airs in it. I said, it's an historical building. And what it is, that particular building I've been pointing out, there, is the collegiate. And that's where a lot of people went, great people. The likes of Leonard Rossiter, for example. You know, the actor, Rise and Tamp. One of the great footballers of the city. Brian LeBeau, gentleman. And they wanted to pull it down. And these are the city planners. But I saved it anyway. Not just me, others as well. But at least, you know, I had my pennet and I put my pennet in. And now the flats, which is great.
Being used.
Yeah, utilised. And this little building here, that was a Methodist church. And they're flats now. Because on this site here, right on this site, is Hope University.
Okay.
And this here, that's a church. And that's St. Francis Xavier's Church. And there was 4 Irishmen who was having a drink in the Rose and Crown off Tail Street, Cheapside. And they seen this architect in the pub. And he went over and they said, listen, can you design a church for us? He said, yeah. He said, yeah, I'll do that. So we designed it. And that opened in 1842. Because what had happened with the influx of the Irish coming over, and especially after the 45 potato famine, if they call it a potato famine, because George Bernard Shaw said, how could there be a famine when the country was full of food?
Absolutely.
And it was built, 1846, I'm sorry, it was built. Opens its store, or it was starting to get built, and it opens its stores in 1848 because all the Irish had to go from right down there, right down from here, shall we say, right down to Scotland Road, which was here. I can't go any further, unfortunately. So they had to traipse all the way from there, around here, in the rain, snow, and everything. And it was the Irish who said, you know, can you?
Yeah. To St. Anthony's.
And they paid for it.
Yeah.
St. Francis Xavier's. Unfortunate thing is, I've been to many funerals there, which is just sad. I'll have to finish. Didn't realise the time.
So you got your footy kit on tomorrow?
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know how to get off, you know. I don't know how to get off. Oh, here we go. Hello.
Yep.
Hey. Oh, look at there it is.
Oh,
There it is.
just beautiful.
Thank you, Jay.
It's
And do you
not
see this? Do you see that there on the right of it, Anthony?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a smaller thing. What the Irish fella said to him, J.J. Scholes, he said, listen, mate, can you put like something about, you know, I've got to be spot on with this. And they always get mixed up. God blimey. God. You know the Notre Dame? I always get mixed up
Yes.
with another sketch. You know, it goes through my mind. But anyway, it's the Notre Dame. And that part there on the right is part of the Notre Dame. They wanted it like designed to take a piece out of the Notre Dame and put it on the. How about that?
Oh,
Isn't that fantastic?
absolutely. For the reasons it's done and for the actual building, it's just
Yeah,
phenomenal. Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yes. Love it.
So you see, Anthony, we're blessed with buildings. We're blessed with architects. We're blessed with people who want these particular buildings built, aren't we?
Yes. Visionaries. Love it. Love it, Frank. That's brilliant.
So, how's it been tonight? Hey,
Well, I'm biased, but I think it's been great. I think we've touched on a lot of uh, stuff which has got an emotional meaning, from literature to actual,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's what it's about.
You see, there are things we spoke about literature, didn't we? And
Yes.
this is what I want, new ones to speak about literature. We spoke about our history. We spoke about everything, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you know
Culture.
what? Do you know what's missing? Our comments, because we're that big, and I can't do it. I'm useless, as you know. Jason, I'll have to. I don't know. Have you noticed how big we are here? Haven't you noticed? We should
No.
be smaller, and our
Oh,
comments should be there.
yeah. Well, we embrace all the opinions, all the stuff, unless the snides, and we haven't got any snides.
No snides. I get rid of snides.
Yep.
I get rid of them. There's nothing worse, there's people who put up opinions and things, but you don't mind. Press comments. I can't see it, Jason.
Top right.
No, I know. I can't see it because the picture's big. Hang on. That's the full screen more. Let's see. What's that? Oh, I haven't a clue where I am. I'm useless. Gone. I can't even. I'm.
Press F11.
Can you see that? I can't. Press F11.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you just said. Yeah. Press F11.
It's okay.
Sounds like a moon landing. But there we go.
Put my glasses on. F11, nice. There we go. See how good. I'm a genius, aren't I? I'm a genius. I pressed F11 and I'll come back to me. See, Shays, look on the keyboard. You've gone into full screen. But Tony loved that picture, haven't he? St. Anthony's. SFX. impressive. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see it, and you could. That's why I was saying to you. I wanted to say, you know, and I was saying about right, so let me get down there. The Blue Coat Chambers is so beautiful and looking at. Yeah, you're right, Bella.
Yeah.
Frank, I've been to Malta. I've been in Malta church in Malta, and it's the fourth largest dome in the world. You can view the inside on a webcam. Oh, brilliant!
Wow.
Franco, that makes my blood boil. Greedy, spineless people. See,
Us too, Bella.
that's when I was saying that the Pantheon's coming down and Rome.
I know. With a flat towers going in sight.
I hope she's getting over to. I hope she's not sending messages over to Italy. So my story in here in Liverpool said that the Pantheon's coming down. And she actually thought, oh, he's only kidding. He said it was going to be called Trump Tower. Franco and Antonio, I loved every second of this. Your passion for history and literature is truly captivating. Oh, thank you.
Bella. God bless you, Bella. Thank you. And Marcella, thank you.
And Bella says, love tonight. You turn Liverpool's history into a masterpiece. Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams. Says the lovely Bella. Thank
And
you.
you.
Brilliant show once again, Jens, says Owen Lee.
Thanks, Owen. Thanks for being with us.
And on that wonderful note by Owen, we'll finish here. It's 9:30, Anthony. It's been good, hasn't it?
It's been great, Frank. Loved it. Considering you, if you don't mind me saying, you felt a bit rough as we started.
Yeah, I was going to cancel it, wasn't I? But we can't leave our people, can we?
No.
Because they were waiting for us. But tomorrow night I've got the football show. Let's hope that I'm okay tomorrow. But I enjoyed the map tonight because Jason fixed the map for me.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't had it on for ages. Had we?
Oh, no, it's just perfect timing tonight. And then with the wonderful photos Jason got of the close-up of the churches. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Jason says, I was going to get the webcam up for us, but it's pitch black in the church, only 2 little lights on.
Wow.
Well, see what I mean? The
Yeah.
webcam's going to put us up for us.
Wow. Fantastic, Jason.
All right then, so listen, mister, speak to you soon. You're okay?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You give me a ring when you, or text when you've got, I'm both aware that we're both falling asleep, like.
I know. I'm finished. I'll be awake now till about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's how bad it is.
Go get something to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to, because I've had nothing. Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, Frank. Thanks, Jason. Thank everyone for the education.
And I've got to thank, or we have to thank, those
Yeah.
wonderful people, Gap Painting Services, for sponsoring every podcast that's done. Every podcast. And that's it. Night, gents, and night all, says Jay. And thank you to the Gap Painting Services for sponsoring. Get them in. If you're an NHS worker and an elderly, get them in, you get special discounts. And on that wonderful note, with our Gap Painting Services, I'll say good night. The most important people who are, Anthony, who are the most important.
Our wonderful pod family.
Yeah.
Our wonderful chatters.
Because without them, there'd be no history. There'd be nothing.
No. No, just flatlined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We would be fucking flatlined.
Yeah.
And on that wonderful note, what Anthony said, without the chatters, we'd be flatlined. And I'll see some of you tomorrow. Mille grazie to our wonderful Italiani ladies. Thank you. Good night, Anthony.
All the best, mate.